So doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Black Jews are going to be at the bottom of the totem pole. Doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ, Black are going to be at the bottom. Doesn't mean anything if you're a, you understand what I mean? It's like the bottom common denominators for a lot of these marginalized groups end up being Black.
I got one for you, and people might not agree with it, even if you're a but I don't want to end there. I don't want to end at all, but we got to end at some point. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk more about what you're doing right now. For those who don't know, my man Afternoon is amongst the Cree Nation.
Yeah.
Swapping knowledge. What's going on up there, man?
So right now I'm in Wemindji, which is a Cree Nation, northern Quebec. So maybe 1,700 kilometers away from Montreal.
Ooh.
So basically, it's a city, it's a community that is from that region. And the way I was invited over there is just to be able to share knowledge with youth. So when it comes to music production, when it comes to video editing, or when it comes to dance, they basically bring in artists to share knowledge with youth and try to motivate them with transferable skills. So the goal for me is not to come here and like, yo, I'm going to turn everyone into beat makers, but it's more an opportunity of like, okay, like let's try this if it's something that you enjoy, and let's see what skills you can learn from that to be able to transfer them in your everyday life. From them to have access to someone or some information that maybe is not in their community. And at the same time, for me to learn from them and have an experience in a completely different landscape that I'm used to.
Wow. That's dope, man. So I so basically you're just up there to basically see who's into this the most and who can maybe transfer this skill into a productive life for them.
Yeah, I'm so there's two groups that I have that actually have classes with me. So it's during their art classes and they're getting graded for the stuff that we do. So we did a little bit of video production. We did a little bit of music production. Now we're working on a video project for the remainder of the time that I'm there. So yeah, they're actually getting graded for this. So it's not just like, hey, I'm here, whoever wants to come. It's like, no, I'm actually there in classes and spending
Wow.
time with them.
How is their day-to-day life being up there like that far up?
It's different, man. I'm a city cat. Like, so for me already, the fact that there's like less than 1,000 people within the community, there's one community store that sells food, there's like one cafe, one restaurant, like, so the amenities are reduced and it can feel somewhat trapped because you don't necessarily have access to all the things you can see on the internet or that people usually have access to. So I guess it's different. I can't speak for them, but for me, it's been completely different. And it's changed the way I live my life. Like I've done projects like that a bunch of times. And it's just that like you realize that like time starts slowing down. You start focusing on important things. But of course, that's my experience. It could be completely different for them.
Wow. So, man, if you're up there, right, you're a city cat, has it also just changed your perspective on like just life? Like when you go back to Montreal, you're in the hustle and bustle. Well, actually, Montreal ain't got no hustle and bustle right now, huh?
People still find a way, even
Right.
with these restrictions that we're getting, people still find a way to make stuff happen.
Right. I'm gonna go off on a tangent real quick because this is something I want to know. What so the soul, the identity of Montreal is the festival. Like we got the number one, we got the biggest firework festival, we got the biggest comedy festival, biggest jazz festival, right? One of the top. I think the African festival is like one of the biggest. We had the longest running hip hop, in North America. Now we have nothing. What was that like going through a summer of nothingness in one of the most poppin' summer cities in the world?
It was super weird because what makes Montreal, especially during the summer, is not only the festivals, but like there's a lot of tourists. So it was the first year that like if you saw someone, they were from Montreal. That's one thing. It was just like you knew off the bat, like, yo, you got to be from the city. You can't be traveling. You can't lie to me and say that you're from somewhere else. That's
Right, right,
one.
right.
Two, it forced people in the city to reappropriate themselves the city. Because although we have a lot of festivals, sometimes they're not necessarily representative of the city. Because a lot of them happen downtown. So people just reappropriated the space. So when it comes to parks, when it comes to pedestrian streets. I had never seen so many people out in my life and people doing like their own thing. So I can't tell you how many impromptu parties happened into parks that turned into festivals. Like, yo, there's footage of like thousands of people outside in the park just jamming to music. Because like, although there were restrictions, I'm like, you can't stop Montrealers from doing what they do.
That's crazy. So they just all these pirate parties, huh? Just like we out here.
All over the place, man.
That's dope, man. The last thing I want to kind of get into your brain, pick your brain about. So we've talked about a lot of respecting spaces, right? Respecting cultures, respecting perspectives. How would you say is the best method for us as a culture to come in, value the idea of respecting the history while also bringing our history to it?
So I think the first thing is to really understanding the story and where it comes from, and understanding how certain communities or a culture operates. So basic example, I was telling people, different cultures have different ways of communicating. Some cultures have specific words that you use when someone is older than you. Some cultures have specific words to use when someone is younger than you. Finding out what that is for our culture and then moving in accordance. Because it's not just barging in and saying, well, I have a different background, I can do whatever I want. It's not how it works. That's not how you relate to people and you keep a culture strong. Come in, put your preconceptions at the door, learn what it's about, and then see what you can bring to the table.
Well, there it is. Beyond the Cypher, Bboy Afternoon, Deadly Venom's crew, from one of the illest, but in my opinion, the illest city that I've ever been to in the world, Montreal, Quebec. Hey man, if we want to get, if we want to follow you, I don't know if you're doing classes, if we at least just want to see those epic posts that you put on social media, how do we follow you, sir?
You can just look me up on Instagram. I am Afternoon, one word. And yeah, man, you can connect with me through there.
Man, you guys got to talk to this brother. Build with him. You know what I'm saying? But again, thank you so much for your time. I've been wanting to have this conversation since, I guess, 2019, man, before I even had a channel. You know what I'm saying? Just to build with you and just, exchange ideologies, exchange knowledge, and just kind of build with a brother. You know what I'm saying? So, again, we thank you. And I want to exit with our famous words of encouragement, man. Peace. For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section, and to make sure that you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace until the next episode.